In trying to do great, we fail to do good.
So we watched Arcane,
Mm-hmm.
Netflix's adventure action animated series that
Mm-hmm.
is based on, well,
League of
not based
Legends.
on, it is based in
Yes.
the League of Legends game universe.
Yes. We both haven't played League at
Mm-hmm.
all. I tried it once a billion years ago. Didn't really care for the gameplay and never went back. But it's very, very, very popular, and everybody it's pretty much taken over the planet at this point. And this is their first animated actual show thing that they're doing now, since they have all the money in the world,
I
so
guess
they can
so.
do so. And well, it stars two of the characters I think in the games. I know Jinx is a character in the game. I don't know, like seriously, my understanding of League is very, very bare bones. I know that Jinx is a character from the games. I think Caitlyn, who's also in this, is also another one. I think even a few other characters that we see are characters, but I don't know. But I like this. I really, really like this, as completely going in, not knowing anything about the world or whatever, but it was great. They really did an amazing job, and I didn't have any like high things or anything. I know we both saw the trailer and we were like, "Oh, this looks cool. Let's watch this."
I actually don't remember the trailer, but if I sent it to you,
You
which I
did,
do recall that I did, then that means I must have been interested.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And yeah, I didn't have a huge bunch of expectations, but I know that they have all the money in the world to spend to get people to make the product good quality, and it's good. It was really, really good.
I think that's too many reallys, but it was
Probably.
not bad.
But yeah, the story is about two sisters, pretty much. Oh, one thing, her name is Vi, right? For
Mm-hmm.
the longest time, I just want to call out V, and I was always like, why didn't they call it V? Because it has Vi is V to
Because her
me.
name is Violet.
I know because her name is Violet, but still, like it could. I don't know. That's the one thing that was just like,
If you didn't see it visually with the subtitles, you wouldn't have a problem. That's what I
no,
think.
I've. It's
No,
just
if you
that
knew that her name was Violet and
I
they
was
just call
still
her Vi,
I would still be like, why didn't it just call her
no,
V?
you
Because I've
wouldn't.
seen and know people whose name Violet and they're called V. You know, it was just weird to me. That was just a weird thing to me. But it starts off with like Jinx and no Powder and Vi, and apparently some war or whatever's going on, and some big
Right.
dudes
There's been some kind of
altercation, uprising. Yes,
uprising,
fight.
revolution. Something has happened. A lot
Yeah.
of people have been killed in the bottom, what they call the
The Undercity.
Undercity.
Yes.
And it's the enforcers who apparently came and
Yeah, they're
did
apparently
some,
the Undercity and Piltover,
yes, which
the
is they call the topsiders.
topsiders. But yeah, so there's the whole thing is like there's the rich upper city and the poor lower city, and
Basically.
it's the whole back and forth between the two over years and years, and how has affected people being raised in the undercity. And so we get to see some characters from Piltover, and we get to see some characters from the undercity, and we get to see you just get to see what I really liked about the show was everything. It flowed really, really well. The pacing of how we found out information, how we learned things about characters, and like just more about the world slowly
Yeah.
unraveling to you, like as somebody who doesn't know anything about the lore of this world or anything. it was it wasn't like forced. It just
Yes.
like I was pulled in. I was pulled in, and I'm learning, and I'm like, okay, okay. And I'm getting to understand how the politics work in the world. It's just a great experience.
I agree with that too. There was no overwhelming information at times, and there was no long, like, expositions. You know, you
Yes.
always hate to see
Or
that
like a big
because it
plot
feels
dump.
so unnatural.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was never like that, not even once. There were times when they would offer up that information, but it did not feel forced, like you
Because it was
said.
natural in like
Exactly.
what they were
And then
explaining.
other times things were just subtly handed to us, subtly
Mm.
displayed, subtly showed. And I like that as well because you don't feel overpowered with so much information coming at you. You don't feel like, I don't know what y'all guys are saying. And like you had said, and like different people have said about the show, it is one where you don't have to have any prior knowledge
Hmm.
about anything.
Yeah.
Well, from my opinion, I really feel like that to enjoy the
Yeah.
show or to know what they're saying. Even at times, you may not know what they're saying one line, but in the next line, they talk about it.
Yeah. And it isn't
Right?
like too exposition-y or anything
Right,
like that,
right.
but you understand what they're doing.
Yeah. Nothing felt heavy or over the top.
Hmm.
That, I have to say, that was good.
That was good. I really appreciate what they were doing with the story. It's a classic story of, the upper rich people, the lower poor people, and we get to see the viewpoints of everybody involved. We see they steal the whole impetus of the whole situation is that they stole from some guy, or they steal some stuff, and they get caught, but not caught, but they got found out and being chased through the city and everything. And we see how that you see that from their end. Then we see it from our other main character, one of our main characters, Jace. We see
Right.
him get in trouble because apparently what he was working on and what was stolen was considered illegal. And we
Yes.
see how he as a character grows with his technology and his wanting to push hex gates, and
Yes.
seeing how that.
Basically, though, let's clear up or say first what he's working on is the crux of the show.
Yes.
It's the Arcane.
Yes.
They come to be known as Arcane technologies in the
Hex
show.
tech.
It's basically magic.
Yes. Using science to create magic. And
Right.
yeah. That pretty much. Because the whole city apparently was very slight, where they were like, this city was built on. When he was there in the council and he was saying he was trying to make magic, and then you find out that the city was apparently built to escape warmongering mages.
Right.
That little plot point just dropped, and that just increased like a whole bunch of like, so okay, there's known stuff about magic,
Right.
and then we find out that the city was built to escape like crazy magicians or whatever. Just kind of like, okay, understand why the city is always about progress and like building towards a better future, because there were crazy war mages apparently at one point. And the cutest character, as we were talking about the show,
Here,
I mean Denger.
higher Oh Lord, what is his name?
Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger.
Yes.
Heimerdinger.
Yes.
Goodness.
And he, since he's lived so long and he was one of the founding fathers of Piltover, he knows about the warmongering mages, which is why he's like so hesitant throughout the show to allow the magic or the hex tech to be created. But eventually he's expelled from the academy and told that not to work on this stuff anymore. But he gets saved because he's thinking about suicide, and he's saved by Victor, and they go on to prove everything, and they pretty much create all the hex tech.
So in the Undercity, what we have going on is that V, whose name is not V, Vi, Powder, Clagger, and Milo.
Yes.
Right. They are hiding, or they have to be in hiding because now the enforcers and everyone from
Piltover
is trying to arrest someone for what happened because they actually destroyed a whole building.
Yep.
They did not do it on purpose. When they were stealing some of the magic stuff, it accidentally, fell out of the girl's bag and whatnot. So the building collapsed. They are trying to hide what is named Vander, who had taken in the and
Mm-hmm.
Powder is like everyone's dad and owns this place. He has a deal actually with the enforcers
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, he would not mess with anything anymore,
Mm-hmm.
basically, and that they would, you know, turn an eye to some of the things that he does as well,
Yes.
whatnot. And that's how the Undercity and Piltover had kind of survived and not started any wars so far
So
or
recently,
again,
yeah.
because of that peace that they kind of had
Yes.
until
Mm-hmm.
what is the enforcer's name who uses what's her name voice from the whatever from the Expanse? Anyhow, she has this guy under her wing who's like her lieutenant, who is Marcus, and he does not like the whole, you know, deal that they
Mm-hmm.
have. Marcus is basically a snotty nosed brat who is
Yes.
getting uppity, and he makes his own deal with Silco, who is basically the villain and the bad guy of the Undercity.
Yes.
Okay, before Silco and Vander used to be like brothers and friends, but they had a fallen out, so they're not on the same page.
No.
The deal that Marcus makes with Silco ends up really spinning everything out of control.
Yes.
The lead enforcer is killed.
Yep.
Benzo, who was like another pillar of the Undercity with different trades and stuff, he is killed,
Yeah.
and Vander is taken. And then from there, let's just speed up the whole explaining.
Yeah.
Basically, the other three kids go to save Bonder because he's taken, and then Powder comes and she tries to help, even though Vi told her not to.
Trying to
She
use those crystals that she stole.
right. I always thought that four of them was too much in that thing. In any case, she throws in a bomb with the magic runes and ends up killing.
Pretty much everyone.
Right.
Pretty much all her family. Yeah.
And then from there, what we get is something that I don't know if I feel like it's not believable. This is my first no for the show.
Oh.
Until this point, I think this was episode 4. Until now, I had been feeling, hey, this is good. This is not bad at all. And then when they show that, you know, Vi is not happy, the building is burned down, first of all. Vander is dead after
Yes.
saving her, after injecting himself with the shimmer. And the other kids are dead as well because of the bomb that Powder threw in the building. Vi is not happy. She says some mean things to Powder. She says that you really are a jinx, which is the thing that Powder had been basically, you know, trying to disprove everybody for this basically longest time. And everyone says that. And now her own sister doesn't believe in her and she feels hurt. After knowing what she just did, she gets, you know, very mentally traumatized from that, I have to say. However, just because your sister walked away doesn't mean that you cannot follow her.
Oh, you're just saying that she should have ran after her?
Yeah, because she's on the ground and she's crying and she's saying, don't leave, don't leave. You could follow after her.
I don't really think that would have changed much.
Also, when Silco comes and he decided not to kill her, why would she just dive into the arms of a stranger? I understand that at that time something terrible has happened,
Yeah.
and you're really feeling it mentally exhausted and everything, and it's just you can't cope. But you don't, even at that point, comforting from strangers.
She's a kid who just threw a bomb that killed pretty much her 2 brothers. Her older sister has just told her that she's a jinx.
I get
her
that.
father is
Here's
dead.
what. Here's what is the end of
Everything is
what I'm
crumbling
saying.
around her.
Here's what the end of what I'm saying. Even though all of that happened, she becomes a psycho.
I I think you're thinking like, oh, this shouldn't happen, but you put yourself in her place. She's already having
I
like to
honestly
deal.
don't even mind that part. It's her not believing that her sister would still
Kim,
love her.
a lot of stuff just literally happened to
I
her
don't
in that
agree.
small amount of time, and it can break a person. Like it, your father's dead, your sister's leaving you, and she doesn't know that she got put in prison, and she just disappears
No, that's
forever,
not the
right?
issue that I have.
She just killed pretty much her like brothers or pretty much friends. So any person to like just lend a hand in this like my world is crumbling all around me is like any little comfort people will take in like
There's
their
another
lowest
thing
point.
now that you said that. Why doesn't she have any self hate?
You mean because she's I think you've seen as did you watch the show? She's always seeing them in her head or speaking to them or whatnot. I think that is like part of this psychosis that she can't allow herself to like believe that they're gone. They're still there in her, and that's why she is the way she is because she refuses to grieve or to let them go, and that's why she slowly and just has become this like psychotic person that you just cannot deal with.
Well, okay. We spoke about the two of them.
Yeah.
Speaking of the characters in the show, do you have any favorite characters?
Favorite characters. I like Victor. We haven't touched much about him, but towards the secondary half of the show, I really liked seeing his those he's going through and whatnot. Finds out that he's sick, realizes that he could do something else with the hex tech to like try to make stuff better, try to see if he could heal himself, and he starts putting runes in his body and stuff like that. He goes to the
It
old
doesn't
doctor
seem to
guy.
work though.
He goes to the old doctor guy to get the shimmer, and he ends up killing someone. And we keep talking about how he's going to get taken over by the hex core or whatever, but he he seems to be, like realize that to me I like him. He's the most honest character, I guess, because he's trying to do actual good, and when he fucks up, he's like, "Fuck, I fucked up," that type of thing. I'm glad he didn't like become like this stereotypical kind of character where he just got power and now he's gonna do stuff with it, and the power breaks him. Even though he kind of fixed his leg, he ends up killing someone completely, and realizes that we have to get rid of this thing. I'm dying, and failed to do any good with what we have. I like that line where he says, "In trying to do great, we fail to do good." That he says
Agreed.
to Jace at the
It's
end, because
true.
they both realize that they're trying to do so much, but they're completely missing.
That's what Heimerdinger was saying to them.
Yes, that the power you get you get huff up on it, and then you fail to do anything with it, or you just completely destroy everything in your path for progress.
Although I don't think that they got too hooked up on
No, I don't think
power.
so
It's
either.
just an
Power,
unfortunate happenings,
yes.
really.
It just seems that every time you try to do something good, something else comes along and completely ruins it.
My theory with Victor, though, is that he will be taken over.
By the power.
Yes, because they are saying that the thing is learning, right?
After it killed that girl, it changed, and I think it got smarter from
Yeah, that's
that.
the second time it changed.
Yeah,
And now
after
that
the
it has
blood,
a whole biology of humans,
and a
if she was
psyche and a
human.
brain, technically.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure, because you see how it knocked him out after that?
Yes,
It's definitely going to
alive.
keep growing. I think it's going to take over his body. Right now, it seems like he's dragging the leg around, even though he had done the test walk and run. After that, it looked like he was still not,
Because he's still dying. He's
Yeah.
still dying, and I feel maybe because I'm assuming there's going to be a season 2, that he'll probably still be there, but he'll probably die and then come back as some weird magical creature type of thing. I don't know.
Or it'll be his body.
But the hex score is in control.
Right.
I
I
love
mean, if he's still
if he's
alive
still
after
alive.
the ending, which we're just gonna start talking about.
I think that episode was called "The Monster You Created" or something like
I
that.
don't know.
But at the very end, Jace and the councilors decided we need to give sovereignty to the Undercity. We need to let them tread their own path. We've failed them. We've completely failed them. Years and years we've put in this problem. We've been kicking it down the road. And he gets everyone to agree on the council, all those greedy people on the council, to agree to give, let them tread their own path, let them be their own people. Finally, freedom. And a rocket is headed straight to blow up all of the council members, and that's where the show ends.
Yeah.
So it's like every time you try to do something, it's just too late in this show. That's what I think the whole thing I'm getting from like the whole show is like every time you try to do something good, it's always too late. It is always too late to fix the problems that have just been built up over years and years of this back and forth between these two cities, pretty much. And Jinx pretty much jinxed everything.
Did she though?
She is pretty much the creation of both the Undercity and Piltover, but she's pretty much the result. She is the weapon created from all these circumstances and happenstances and just unfortunate things happen, trickle down, and all it came is to create this one monster who is pretty much going to set them into a war now. Because if all the council members are dead, well,
Exactly.
they
There
probably
will be
aren't
no
all dead.
order in
There's,
Piltover.
but it's going to be war. Even if some of them live, there's going to be war. It's just straight up just going to be a war now, which is kind of sad. But I think that's what the whole show felt somber. I guess it's not. I don't know, but it had that whole feel that, like I've been saying, that even though you might try your best, you might do something, you might try, but you can't stop the rock that is rolling down the mountain. You can't stop the lava flow coming out of the volcano. No matter what you do, you can't stop the inevitable. That was my main takeaway, I guess, from the show.
I didn't have a main takeaway.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh right, favorite. What's your favorite character? Sorry.
I do not have a favorite character actually.
Okay.
I also did not dislike any characters
Hmm.
except for Jinx.
Ah.
I know that she and Vi are the main characters. It's
Mm-hmm.
their story alongside everything else, right? But that was just I enjoyed the show though.
That's fine. You
The
can not like a
rest
character.
of the show. I also like the visuals. What did you think about the visuals?
Fantastic. I really love the mixture of art styles, especially how certain things were accented with just 2D art
Yes,
against
the
the
2D tended
CG.
to appear when there was smoke or fire or liquid,
Yes.
but actually, it really
It
worked.
did. It just worked well, especially with how the backgrounds of the art look to the actual world. It
Yeah.
just it was really really nice, and I really have to put my whoever did the art style and the CG and got everything worked together. They did a fantastic job with this.
There was also another um I don't know whether to call that 2D. I guess it was 2D.
Mm.
At those moments in the different fights
Ah,
where it looked drawn or
yes,
sketched,
yes,
those were also really good.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
the animation quality is just super high with this show. They really went all out, And I think one of the things I relate to is just how the characters look and the choreography, fighting, how the visuals of that too, of just how
Yes,
the fights look and just
it's
going through.
realistic.
Yeah, and it just flowed
Oh,
so
speaking
well.
of that, speaking of
Uh
realistic,
huh.
I really like the emotion you could see on their faces. You know, sometimes when you look at 3D, it looks like nothing. There's no feeling. Like 3D is dead.
Some 3D is there, but I mean,
Exactly. But this was done quite well.
yes, the
They got
characters.
the scrunching in the forehead, the sniveling of the nose, that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
CG has come a long way.
Well, I still have a way to go,
I
but
don't
this
know.
has been really good to see. It
Yes.
was a great display.
The art style itself as well was very, very good. Even though the different stylings and like the 2D CG or whatnot, they never clashed against one
Yeah,
another.
they
It's like,
complimented them.
exactly, very, very, very masterful work with this show. And it was just like a treat to watch, like I didn't have any like things that were sticking out in the background. There wasn't any weird like character stuff that was just like standing out. They really did an amazing job with just the visuals going forward. It's just
The opening visuals were good as well. The song was good as
the
well.
music overall was pretty good.
Yeah, the music throughout the show was not bad.
It
Very good.
was very good. It probably not like the strongest part, but it was just it accented everything very,
I think
very
it
well.
did what it needed to.
Yes. I liked most of the songs that play too. So
Yeah.
that helps. But yeah, I'm looking forward to season 2, to be quite honest. I'm looking forward to see where the story. I really, really liked how towards the end we saw there's a whole other continent across the sea, Noxus, where
Mel is
Mel is
from.
from. Where is she from? That they're probably going to play a role coming up in the future because they want Hex Tech for weapons, and I'm just really looking forward to this right now.
That's one of the additions in the. It's not really an addition, but that's one of the parts of the story that I also thought was really well done. You see, sometimes at the end, when a show is coming to an end, they still want to give you like a whole bunch of information. They tend to like shove it down your throat.
Yeah.
But it came across so smoothly that I think that episode started with her when she was in the past, her life story and where she came from. We got to know that she wasn't a manipulative kind of person,
All the
but
time, but we
that
see
her
why.
family wanted her to be like that, and she had to be like that. And then when her mother comes and says what she said to her, that you were my weakness.
Yes, you
And
made me weak.
exactly those kind of things, and they talk about the politics. I think the politics in the show, everything in that way was just so well done.
Yes.
Information was so fed to us so well.
Yes, so naturally as well.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when it's towards Jace, and since Jace himself is a scientist and he's not a politician, he's getting the information, he's learning, but we are also finding out more about the world and how people operate and
Yeah,
stuff like
at
that.
first I thought that Mel was, I don't know what she was trying to do with Jace, but I did not know if she was going to be a good person per se or a bad person. Of course, everyone has their own,
Things going on with them.
right, and goals that they want to achieve. I did not really know what it was for her.
Yeah.
I kind of still don't know, but towards the end, we see that she doesn't want to be like her family, though,
Yes.
and that she was actually banished. So that's interesting. I like the characters. I like character designs.
Yeah.
Why
That's
didn't
one
we
thing
talk about that?
that I know that League is known for, having a lot of decent or great character
Yeah, from
designs.
the beginning, I was like, I like how they look.
Yes.
I love how things look. It was great
Yeah.
in terms of looks. The
Yeah.
story was not bad. I wouldn't give the story a super super high score, I have to say,
But it
Christopher.
did its job.
It did. It was enjoyable. Now, here is a big question. Would you watch a sequel?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Like I don't care about going and playing League the game.
Neither do
I don't
I.
I'm not really a huge into MOBAs is what they call. Uh I'm not gonna go play the game or whatnot. But you want to give me more lore, more story, more stuff like this, and you want to give me another an animated series of season 2? Yes, I'm in. You want to do a series that's based in Noxus with different characters or whatever? I'm in. Because if they can bring this, if they could keep this same say quality and story and visuals and whatnot going forward, I think they have something really amazing on their hands. So,
I think so too. As long as they don't ever do this one thing
which is
in terms of storytelling, as long as they never try to overwhelm us.
I got you. As long as it's paced very well, because that's what it comes back to. This just the pacing of the show.
Oh,
Just
speaking of pacing, I did think that in episode 5 and 6, the story kind of came to a halt and was
it was
slow.
slow. It was taking its time. Though it was
Yeah.
just being because they were like I can't remember what's going on, but yeah, I felt it too. I know exactly what you mean. It
It's
was slower.
when it was after when Caitlyn went to get Vi. So it was just a bit slow. Um, of course, everything after that, we know that the story happens. There's a time skip, right? So the rest of the story is relatively short, but maybe it didn't need to take place over 5 more episodes.
I mean, after the time skip.
Yeah,
I think it did. They did enough. I think it was
you
good
know how
enough.
I feel about slowness.
To me, it was slowed down, but it wasn't a problem for me.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, I think that with a lot of shows, the problem that they have after time skips is this pacing, because they know, okay, we give some information in the beginning and a lots of things happen in that period even though it's a short time, right? And then we do a time skip, but the rest of the story also takes place over a short period of time and they try to draw it out thereafter.
Okay,
That's a failure.
I don't think it's a failure.
In any case, if not just those 2 episodes, I think that everything was it was good though.
I'm interested in the season 2. I want to see where the story goes. But even if it doesn't get a season 2, this was fantastic. This was great.
I think it was greenlit for a season 2.
That's even better. That's great.
And like you said, it doesn't even have to be like what happens directly after this to these characters. Even if we just see something from another part of this world
Yes.
that we've already been introduced to, it'll be really interesting.
Yeah, because I'm now like, I didn't know League had this type of lore. I never really cared about it that way. But I'm interested. The story is really, and the world that they've built up is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I want to see more. I want more. I need to consume more of this type of story. It is feeding something deep inside of me that I need to be fed. So yeah,
Okay, you hungry person. Overall score.
I'm
I
gonna
know
give
what
this.
it is.
What is my overall score?
Your overall score
Uh-huh.
is either an 8 or a 9.
I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You really off your rocker.
I am as off as my rocker because I've been taking that shimmer that doctor has been given to those people in the Undercity.
No, really. You need to think about that again.
Okay, I'm thinking about it again. 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. I am sticking with it. I think this was great. I really enjoyed this and I loved it. I don't care. I might be biased or whatever, but 10 out of 10. I think that's the first 10 out of 10 I've given anything that we've on this show that we've
That's
talked
not
about.
true.
What did I give 10 out of 10?
Didn't you think that another of Netflix's animated things was 10 out of 10?
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Oh, yeah.
Castlevania.
Yeah. Well,
No,
Yeah,
be quiet.
yeah.
I don't even want to
10
hear
out of
you.
10. Yeah.
Let me just
Okay.
say.
Okay, 9 out of 10.
Exactly.
9 out of 10.
You don't even know
I just
yourself.
thought about Castlevania and
No,
then
you don't.
realized.
That's one thing that you shouldn't do, though.
No, 10 out of 10.
You shouldn't score something based on how.
Yeah, exactly, you're true. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10.
You didn't even let me done.
This is good, Kim. This is.
I know it's good.
10 out of 10.
My score is. My score is an 8. And I just now because it's really like a 7 or 8 for me.
Really?
It doesn't go up from there.
You don't give anything over like.
That's not true.
9 or
That's
a 10.
not true. For example, Castlevania.
I feel the reason why we gave Castlevania such a high score too is because it got so many other seasons. We've gotten to see a lot more. This is just season 1.
Well, I don't think we scored it based on seasons.
I know, but I mean, we got to see the whole story arc of the story pretty
from
much
beginning to end.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, and if there ever is something like this with Arcane, we will do the same.
I think that this season deserves a 10 out of 10. But yeah.
But you have your own opinion,
True.
and so do I. And so
Exactly.
does the rest of the internet and the world. So
Yeah. I'm looking forward to other good animated stuff like this too. I have hope now. Yeah. Now for us to watch the next garbage show that completely ruins my hope in the future.
well, hopefully we won't be watching any of those soon. I don't really know what we have planned as a next review.
We'll see.
We have so many things that we decided to watch,
Yeah.
but then when I think about it, I can't remember that anything that's there.
But I did remember that we wanted to watch this for a while now, so
Yeah.
it's very good to get it and be like, yeah, I see now why everybody give this so much praise. It's a fantastic show.
Yes. Internet, if you like League, if you don't like, you should still watch Arcane.
Yes, give
That's
it a
my
look.
review, my overall review.
Give it a look.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed with what you see.
Well, unless you are. It was not bad. It was not bad. It was interesting. It kept our interest
Yes.
as well. You know how some things can get real boring or like, oh, God, please. But it wasn't like that. The characters were good. The characters didn't have extreme development, but there was some there. The politics that we see inside the show, the world building that is done for us, the information that's given to us, all well done.
Go and give it a watch. Arcane is worth your time.
That's going to be the end for us today. If you guys like this episode, you can like, you can subscribe, send us a message on social media at Rambling Tea Time, or you can hashtag it. Don't know if we'll look back at that.
Hope you guys enjoyed and have a good one.
Good night, everyone.